Sadistic Penguin Studios presents the At the Show podcast with Tom Yumper Garcia.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
And Tony Chalsa Burt.
I don't know this industry jargon, YP, MP, whatever, okay? All I know is that I cannot get a record contract. We cannot get a record contract unless I take these tapes.
It's almost time, so grab a drink, get your popcorn ready, and join the film discussion with two guys from Chicago talking movies.
We gotta let this play for a second, Tone, before we
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
jerk and turkey. Hello and welcome to another episode of the After Show podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Tom Yumper Garcia, and I'm with my other co-host, Tony the Sugar Baggy Burt. How you doing, my guy?
Doing good. Excited to be here tonight. Very excited for all these amazing guests we have waiting. This is going to be great.
Yeah, so we're gonna try something new. We're gonna have a bunch of guests. I know we usually have maybe one or two, but we're gonna have 6 today, hopefully. And we're gonna go in and kind of have like a round robin of movies and discussions between all of them. So hopefully we have some wackiness and some fun. I want to try something new for the upcoming Thanksgiving, and our show's not made without friends. So why not bring some of our friends on, right, Tom?
Yes, we got a murder's row of amazing movies here to talk about and shows, I guess.
For sure, my friend, for sure. Before we get to our first guest, I want to again plug our guy Gordo's shirt. Now, Gordo has had his appointment made for the doctor. I believe it's in December for his surgery. So he's going to have those medical bills coming up soon. And we've been selling them to help with his medical bills and alleviate them. I'm sorry. I was reading Baloney's message that he's never called me Tom in his life and never will. So check out Gordo's. You get a shirt. All the proceeds go to Gordo's medical bills. We send them right away, and it will help with his medical bills. I know the Bums have had a GoFundMe for him as well through Venmo, as well as the 108 guys have had one as well. So either way, if you want to go that way and just donate straight money, you can check out those. Or if you just want to get a shirt and do all the proceeds go to Gordo, click the link below at the Big Cartel and buy one there. I know we sold a pretty decent amount for him, so any little bit counts, to help him out.
Yeah, definitely. Deserves it, and this would be a very good gift for him in this December while he goes into the surgery.
Yes, sir. Goro, the shit starter, but we love him. But my man, let's get into our first 2 movies. We have 2 great guests. The first is known as Philly the 13th on Twitter. He's a regular. I guess we talk to him a lot. He goes on all our polls and whatnot. I know you talk to him a lot. My man Sean.
What's up, guys?
What is up? The man from Philadelphia.
North of Philly.
We relationship started because he commented on a movie post a long time ago. It was
like 2 years ago on Twitter.
Yep.
Randomly searching a movie and I saw his post.
3 o'clock high.
Nice. And then our second guest that's going to be joining us is from the Rabbit Hole podcast. I love his rants and would like him to go on another rant if he possibly could today. Mr. Michael Cotton.
How you doing, Mr. Thanks Cotton? For having me, guys.
Thank you for coming back, my man.
Oh, of course. I would do this show anytime. You guys are awesome. And honestly, I did want to say this. I listened to your last show, the football show, flying on an airplane last week.
Oh man.
And I really like what you guys are bringing, and Wildcats. You brought up Wildcats and immediately took me back to like being a little kid, watching that movie, loving it, and that is going to be I am going to watch that very soon. I've been thinking about it a lot since then.
Well, when I'm fishing for these movies, Cotton, I'm looking for guys like you for that period piece that you remember. I remember turning it on, in 88, I'm like 7, 8 years old, like, wow, this movie is awesome. I was going to go with the best at times with Kurt Russell, but again, it's a great movie, man.
Yeah. And that movie Wildcats gets kind of lost in the shuffle. Like that's one of those ones that people don't really remember or think about. I mean, honestly, when you brought it up, it was the first time I thought about it in 10 years, probably. And I was just like, oh my God, why haven't I watched this in a long time? I need to go back and watch it. So, I mean, that you talked about in Any Given Sunday, the Willie Beeman rap, the rap at the end of Wildcats, where Goldie Hawn just says football. I love that shit, man. It's amazing.
That just brought back a I used to watch that movie with my mom when I was a kid. She loved that movie.
Yeah, right? It was a great movie. Whole family could watch that movie, even though it was like a sports movie. And it is not like a clean movie. That is a movie with lots of cussing. I think there's some nudity in it. There's a lot of stuff going on in that thing. But for the 80s, that's a family movie.
I forgot all about that football rap until you brought it up again. Now I can't unhear it. I totally remember it now.
Classic.
All right, gents. So you guys have picked two great movies, and we're going to go with Cotton's first to go off with. But before we get to you guys' movies, we want to ask each of you some Thanksgiving questions, First question I always get asked, because me and my brother-in-law are not huge fans of it. We only have it once a year, and that's turkey. Are you guys fans of turkey? If so, which style?
I'll let Sean start here.
Yeah, I like turkey. Usually, we'll have like a mixture of turkey and ham, kind of together. But yeah, I like it. I like the light light meat, whatever you want to call it, white meat. It's pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to go the other way. No, which, understands. Like, I always have the wrong answer. The turkey can be good. It actually can be. It's just that it never is. Everybody screws it up. It's dry every goddamn time. Like, I just don't understand. I had good turkey, I swear, like one time in my life. My father-in-law brined this thing for like 48 hours beforehand and then made it. It was juicy. It was nice and salty and it had everything. It was perfect. I told him how much I loved it. And of course, he does not like me. So we never had that again. He just never made it again. He's like, screw this, dude. I'm not making something he likes. I
don't do this anymore, but when I was a kid, I used to put ketchup on my turkey at Thanksgiving.
Oh
yeah. I don't do it anymore, obviously. I'm 40 years old. I eventually turned over to gravy, but
better choice.
Wow. So what is your Thanksgiving favorite dish? Let's start with Cotton on this one.
Oh man, again, probably going to drive some people nuts. Green bean casserole. The mushroom soup, the green beans, the onion things on the top, man. That's me all day.
To be honest, like I never really liked green bean casserole until I got older. I think it's like my taste buds have changed, so I do actually like it when it's made. We don't have it as often, but it's pretty good. What about you, Sean?
Mashed potatoes all day. I could eat mashed potatoes every day of my life, and I would be happy.
Nice.
I love them.
What's gravy or plain?
Plain. Just put some pepper in them.
No ketchup?
No.
Excellent choices. Least favorite dish for me, since we'll probably go there next, is that green bean casserole. I've never tried.
Broccoli. A lot of people hate it.
I like broccoli casserole. It's pretty good.
Broccoli casserole. Wow.
What's your favorite dish? Like you're the guy who's never eaten a strawberry. So I want to.
I like mashed potatoes and gravy, broccoli casserole. Nothing sweet. I've never had a slice of pie.
I don't like pie either.
Not the kind of pie. Never mind. No.
Yeah, Cotton. This is a whole like you want to go on a rabbit hole of something. Go down the rabbit hole of Tony never having these kinds of foods.
I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I've never had chocolate.
Whoa.
I've never had.
You've never had an Uncrustable.
I've never had cherries. Just a lot of stuff.
I have a lot of questions about your childhood right now.
Well, if you were my older brother, Cotton, you would have gotten all my. I would have just handed you my Halloween trick or treat bag. Like my dad just took it and ate it all. Like it wasn't like this stuff was kept from me. It was like I was, for some reason, some kind of finicky kid that didn't have a hamburger until I was in college. It was like chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, French fries, hot sauce.
Oh, you were that kid. You're the kid that had like 4 things that he'd eat and you just wouldn't touch anything else.
Yeah,
like
now I'm older now, and I like a lot more stuff. But back then, man, it was tough.
That sounds like my kid right now. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't
mine
eat
too.
anything.
She's chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, mac and cheese.
Yeah. So what's your least favorite food, Cotton?
Oh man, least favorite. I'm gonna probably go with the cranberries. Do not like the cranberries. And I have actually tried. I try them. It's one of those things like when you were a kid, it was like, I'm probably mentally scarred because I had to try everything every time, no matter what it was. Like the cranberries or grandma's freaking Jello salad, whatever the shit that was. Maybe that's the worst thing. But all this crap that I wouldn't want at all, but I would have to try it. But luckily, nobody makes a Jello salad anymore. That shit died with the 90s.
You mean like the Jello with like the fruit in it? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes. I don't. Who calls that a salad? How is that a salad? What do they put ranch dressing on it? And they're like, "Oh, it's fucking good." No, it's not.
I feel about like potato salad. Get that shit out of it. No, I don't have that stuff.
What about you, Sean?
So I will go along with the cranberry. I love stuffing. I don't like cranberry stuffing. My mother-in-law, when I go to her house every year for Thanksgiving, she never makes regular stuffing. It's always freaking cranberry stuffing, and I gotta be a little child and pick the cranberries out.
Oh, your mother-in-law like my father-in-law, just like, yeah, fuck Sean. We're throwing some cranberries in this.
It's interesting you should bring that up because I just went to Trader Joe's and they had this sharp cheddar cheese, and I was like, I'm going to buy some of this. And I ate some of it the other night. My wife's like, did you not read what was in it? And I'm like, what's in it? And she goes, raspberries. And then my whole mind started like melting, and I'm like, I'm never tasting that ever again. There's raspberries. See, that's the problem. It's all mental for me. It's not even like a flavor thing. It's all mental.
I wish she was let you eat the whole thing before.
You've just said something that requires hours of questions. I don't even understand.
Well, I'll set a show up, Cotton. It'll just be me and you for hours, and you can just question me. I'm okay with that.
So these last two kind of go together. Do you guys like Black Friday? And I know Black Friday is a thing that some people like, some people don't. And if you do, what's the best thing you bought on Black Friday? We'll start this one off with Sean.
I mean, I never was the person to go out on Black Friday. I'm usually working on Black Friday, depending on, in the past what job I've had. But I've never been like, to get up at the crack of dawn and go out and get the big deals and all that type of stuff. I usually, I don't really need a lot of that stuff. I've worked on Black Fridays in retail in high school at a toy store, and it was absolute chaos. I mean, I would say the probably one of the, it's going to be kind of minor. One of the best things I bought on a Black Friday sale was actually the entire series of Breaking Bad on Blu-ray. About 10 years ago, maybe. And then my wife and I just binge watched it because I didn't actually watch Breaking Bad when it aired, surprisingly. But I got a really good deal on the whole series, and we just binge watched it for like 2 months. Nice.
What about you, Cotton?
I am completely anti Black Friday. I hate it. I'm not a consumer. Like I have shit. Like when I was younger, I really kind of liked a little more stuff, but as I've gotten older, I like cut it back. Probably the biggest argument my wife and I have at all ever is like, I just look around and I'm like, we have so much shit. Like, why do we need all this stuff? Like, let's just throw it all away. And I've always sort of been like that. Like until I got married, everything I owned fit in an S10 Blazer. That was it. Right. I traded a couch for a pool stick because the pool stick fit. I still have that pool stick.
You
by the
know,
way.
Quasimodo predicted all this.
The guy who didn't eat chocolate and the guy who traded a couch for a pool stick. A new television show.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got some good info out of all of you. I love the fact that you guys just realized how Tony's eating habits are. He's told me this before, like off air, and I'm like, what? Like,
Dude, Tony, I'm telling you, you have to get an Uncrustable. It will change your life.
Luke will be really happy with that. He froze for a second.
Yeah,
But
those things are really good. I have to say they can't be good for you. There must be something. I feel as if the invasion of the body snatchers is coming from an Uncrustable because they're too good.
I've always been of the belief you're never too old for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No,
My
I'm
kids are
old.
never-
I will never. Don't ever say that to me.
Okay,
I made one day randomly, and my wife walked in the kitchen and she looked at me and she's like, "Are you fucking 5?"
Well,
Yeah,
So-
Luke will be very upset you never tried one.
Tony, is it
I
the
know.
peanut butter or is it the jelly?
it's the peanut butter.
Wow.
I know people that
I've never had
a
like a
friend that didn't
peanut,
like it.
and I definitely don't like nuts, and I definitely hate beans. I hate stuff like that.
Tony's walking around telling everybody he's got a nut allergy just so everybody stays away from him.
It's always been good conversation starter. That's why I like it about me.
You carry an EpiPen just for show.
So there you go.
Tone. But let's get into our movies, guys. Let's go with our first one by Mr. Cotton, and let's get to his.
Hey, why don't you join us?
Where are you going?
We're following our dream.
Really? I have a dream too.
Huh?
But you'll think it's stupid.
No, tell us.
Well, I want to go to Bombay, India and become a movie star.
You don't go to Bombay to become a movie star. You go where we're going, Hollywood.
Sure, if you want to do it the easy way.
1979's The Muppet Movie, directed by James Frawley, who also did The Big Bus, and he also did episodes on The Monkees, Ally McBeal, and Grey's Anatomy. The movie stars Jim Henson, Frank Oz, Dave Couliz, Charles Durning, and Austin Pendleton. It had a gross of $65 million. Cotton, tell me why you picked this movie for your Thanksgiving time.
Okay, so this was a movie. So this thing came out in 79. I think I saw it for the first time in 81. I would have been about 5 years old. And for people who don't understand why I wouldn't have seen it at that point, you had to wait for it to come back to the theater. You couldn't just watch it. So it came out in 79. I was 3, did not see it. So I had to wait until I was 5 just for it to come back to a theater somewhere. I fell in love with the Muppets. I already loved them from, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning TV. You get to watch the Muppets, Grizzly Adams, and then the WWF. That was Sundays as a child for me. And it was, it was so much just part of me being a little kid. And I still love the Muppets. I love everything about them. We went to Disney. God, it's been a long time now. But my family, we dressed as the Electric Mayhem and went to Hollywood Studios because they have the Muppets thing there. And that's how much we love them. It's just everything about them has been a part of my life since, I can remember. And how this came to be sort of a Thanksgiving movie is you're always looking for that movie that you can watch with everyone, right? And so when it came out on VHS, we got this thing and I loved it. My parents loved it. My grandparents loved it because there are I think there's 15 different cameos, but they're people like Milton Berle and Bob Hope just pop up in the middle of this movie. And they have 3 lines. They're in there for just this real short thing. But my grandparents thought that was the greatest thing ever, and it's, really wholesome sort of thing. I will say the plot of the movie doesn't necessarily hold up. It's not the greatest, story you've ever read. But for me, all the different set pieces, the different little things that they do, they're, you start with Kermit's in a swamp and he's talking to Dom DeLuise and he's singing Rainbow Connection. And then he takes off and you get moving right along with Fozzie and Kermit in the Studebaker. And then they stop at the church and you got the Electric Mayhem just start rocking it out with can you picture that? Like, Tony, you're big into these the scores and the different soundtracks and stuff like that. This is a banger all the way through. I mean, the Electric Mayhem is one of my favorite bands, actually. I just love everything Muppets. And then when we got older, same thing, right? Go to my mother's house. So she's now grandma. I'm now parent. And my children sit down. They have no idea who most of these like older people are. And all that, but they still love the Muppets. Like there's just something about them that catches their attention. And, so this has just always been a fun movie. It's got a great story to it. It's all about just following your dream and they make it in the end. And it's very hopeful. It's just a very nice movie with bangers all the way through.
Yeah, definitely a lot of bangers.
Definitely one of those films that, like, of course, I grew up with it as well. I know you're a little older than me, but it was a film that I watched too. I also watched a lot of the Muppet TV show when they had like those reruns, but they had like celebrities like Sylvester Stallone was on there. They had I think Hulk Hogan was on there one time, but they had other actors and whatnot do skits. It was kind of like an SNL for kids, but with puppets that I always was interested in. But this movie, my kid's not really into Muppets yet. I mean, he's watched some stuff with it, but he's not really into live action stuff. This is something I would want to get him into. But it's a classic, man. Even the clip I played today for the cold open for the movie, it still cracks me up because before that, Gonzo's jumping up and down, and he's like, "Why are you hopping?" He's like, "I'm hopping with anger." It's just so corny.
Yeah. The jokes are so super corny, and if you go to it with a sophisticated mindset, an adult's mindset, and you're like, oh, this, I need these jokes to be like, sort of highbrow. I need the story to hold up. I need everything to make sense. And we go through. This movie is going to be terrible for you. You're not going to enjoy it. But if you go into it, and like I said, for me, it's like the set pieces. You go through and you see each little thing. And it's just, God, what Jim Henson did with the Muppets and all the different like ways that they interact with, I mean, these puppets are interacting with humans in ways that is not easy. It is not like that's not a recipe for success, right? The things just don't work that well. But the Muppets have always made that like it feels normal when you're watching it, which is stupid, right? Like it should feel like the weirdest thing in the world. These people are talking to puppets as if they're real. But when the way that the Muppets do it, you're drawn in. You're just like, oh no, this all makes sense.
Yeah, it's a classic. Have you seen this one, Sean?
I know I have. I honestly don't remember because I probably saw it when I was a little kid. I don't really have much recollection of it, and I obviously haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, for me with the Muppets as a kid, it was 100% Muppet Babies cartoon.
Muppet Babies.
I loved that show as a kid.
I did too. The Muppet Babies theme song.
Oh,
that's another banger. Absolutely. It's like that doo-wop thing, right?
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
It's Muppet
Sing its own.
Babies. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Animal. He was always my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when looking at this, doing this picture before here, this gentleman back here with the orange hair, he's my favorite. Beaker.
Oh, Beaker.
And that's the thing. It's like when you think of like the Muppets, just sort of as a whole, like you might think of a few of these, but then when you actually start to watch, you're like, oh yeah, there's Rolf being the doctor in the emergency room, and then there's Beaker and Dr. Benson Honeydew or whatever, and the crazy things that they do. And you watch this and you're like, it's a deep bench, right? It's almost the deeper you go, the better it is. Like, you know, you see the guys in the Electric Mayhem, when they get a chance to be up front and actually play and do some of the things. So the Elton John was on there. Alice Cooper had a whole episode, like a Halloween episode. You know, they had some really cool things where, you know, Electric Mayhem got to do stuff, and you're just like, these are really like interesting, fun characters. But I think a part of that is that they knew to use them only a little bit. And then and so every time they brought back the Swedish chef, it's the same joke. There's only one joke. There's only one joke with the Swedish chef. He throws food and he talks funny, but it was funny all the time because they only hit him up for a minute and a half and then he's gone.
Interesting.
Fitzmagic throwing in some trivia here.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, Barbara Billingsley, June Cleaver was the voice of the nanny on Muppet Babies.
Oh my God, I always remember June Cleaver in Airplane talking jive.
I talk jive.
So just a little tidbits of information on here. The movie was included among the American Film Institute's 2006 list of 180 movies nominated for AFI's Greatest Movie Musicals. And this movie has the storyline of the movie is actually based a little bit around Jim Henson's rise to fame.
Very cool.
Nice. I don't know if any of you have seen Saturday Night.
No, I want to though.
So I watched it the other night. Saturday night, it's the hour and a half before the very first Saturday Night Live, and Jim Henson is in it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I remember I bought that first season of Saturday Night Live, and when I bought it when it first came out like 10, 15 years ago, I didn't realize he was all involved in that first season so much, and the Muppets and stuff. Not these Muppets, but different kind of Muppets he had involved.
That guy did so many things. If you go into do a deep dive on Jim Henson, you will see some avant-garde crazy stuff. Lorne Michaels loved him and kept trying to get him into doing things. And that's how the Muppet Show actually got made like 3 years. I think it started in 77 or 78 was just, he had the support of guys like Lorne Michaels just saying, no, he's brilliant. You should give him a chance.
Pretty cool.
Nice. So that's Cotton's pick. So let's go on to Sean's pick with this clip. Ooh. There you go.
There go the goddamn brownies.
1989's The Burbs, directed by Joe Dante, who also did Gremlins, Inner Space, The Howling, and Small Soldiers. It stars Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, Rick Ducommun. I don't know if I said that right.
I can never say his name.
Yeah, and Wendy Shaw. It has a budget of $18 million and a box office of $49 million. Sean, tell me why you picked The Burbs, my man.
It's just a fun movie. Like I said, it didn't do that great at the box office, but I remember my grandmom actually had this on VHS when I was a kid, and I remember watching it at her house for the first time. And it was just a movie that I always enjoyed watching. Tom Hanks is my favorite actor of all time, so I'll watch Tom Hanks read the dictionary. That's how much I enjoy his work.
It'd be good.
But I remember watching it with my grandmother as a kid, and then I eventually got it on DVD. And oddly enough, I actually watched it tonight with my son for the first time. He got to see it.
Yeah, you were sending me. I was jealous.
We ordered some Chinese and came back home, and I put The Burbs on, and we watched it together.
Nice.
But Tom Hanks is his character is just he's just a cornball. I love his facial mannerisms, the things that he does. He shakes his head and he does like all these jerky movements when he's talking. And yeah, it's a clever movie. Just because there's a lot of neighborhoods out there in real life. They're nosy neighbors. They want to know what's going on. They're peeking around. They're looking out windows. They're conniving with each other and gossiping around the neighborhood. So it was it's a lot of fun, man.
So many good quotes, man. Great
Oh
quotes.
yeah, 100%.
It's an excellent choice. I love this movie. Corey Feldman, one of his greatest performances.
Yeah.
Bit player over on the side, but as a kid, you know, probably around that age, watching Corey Feldman, I was like, that dude seems so cool to me.
Mr. Rumsfeld. One of my favorite quotes in that movie is when Carrie Fisher's character, when Carol, her name's Carol, when she's basically telling Rick Dukeman's character that Tom Hanks can't come outside, and she's like, he can't come out until he resembles the man that I married. And Art's like, well, Carol, we don't have that kind of time.
Like classic lines. He's like, you know, I don't want to go back to the cottage, and I don't want to see that guy with the odd-shaped head fall down the stairs again. I just don't want to do that. Like that kind of language.
Yeah, I like. What does he say? I hate the garbage man. The two garbage men that are complaining. He's like, I hate cul-de-sacs. There's only one way out, and the people are kind of weird. I thought the music was great in that movie also.
The music's great. Really
the organs. Good. Excuse me, the organs that would come out at certain points were nice touch.
Yeah. I've always thought this movie was really good too, because it sort of downplays everything. Like it's a little bit of a sleeper. It's super funny, but you have to tune into it. And it would be a movie where if they made it today, I shouldn't say that. Like if anybody else made this movie, they would go too far with it, right?
Right.
This movie totally understood how far to push everything so that it all stayed believable, even though it was just insanity, you know, ultimately, like when you really look and think about what happened. But during the watch, when you're watching it, you're right along with them. You're like, oh no, this dude is being completely rational. I'm with him.
Right. The thing I liked, I loved that it was like a double twist at the end of that movie where, you know, they break into the house when the Klopeks leave, and they're digging a hole, and they think they're looking for Walter, the neighbor. They're thinking he's dead in there, and then they come back with the cops, and then the house blows up, and they show the Klopek family with just like the sad looks on their faces, and you start to believe that they're innocent and that they're actually not doing anything wrong. They don't have bodies, obviously, because Walter came back because he was at the hospital. And then, you know, the house blows up and all this happens. And then Tom Hanks gets in the ambulance, and then you see the doctor come in, and it turns out they're all batshit crazy for real. And he's trying to inject them. And then they find the skulls in the trunk. And you're like, holy crap, they actually are serial killers.
Yeah, this is like, you know, kind of towards the ending of Tom Hanks playing like in wacky movies.
Right.
You know, he did do Big before this. Now it's like his Big, but even Big was like it's still kind of an out there, you know, plot. Because after this, like Tom Hanks goes on to do Joe versus the Volcano, Turner and Hooch. Then he does the Bonfire of Vanities, and then he goes into like Radio Flyer, A League of Their Own. And that's when he starts going into the romantic comedies, and then Philadelphia and Forrest Gump. So this is kind of like, I always am amazed by his career, because he started off doing like comedy,
Bachelor Party,
and then Bachelor Party, and
Pit.
then now he's like considered one of the best actors of our generation. So it just shows how much talent he has. This film totally made me think as a kid, is that how? Because I lived in the city, I was a city boy, so you know, when I was like, is that how really the suburbs are? There's a bunch of nosy people.
Right. I mean, I actually lived in the suburbs. I still do. I mean, I've never encountered people that extreme, but I mean, I definitely have encountered nosy neighbors in my life.
Right. It's absolutely a cul-de-sac played to like insanity levels, but every one of those characters, you would look at them and go, oh no, I see that. That's Joe from down the street. And that's when I lived in Colorado, I was on a cul-de-sac, and I remember watching this movie when I was there, and the whole conversation was, okay, who am I?
Right.
Which character am I? Which character are you? Who's this person? Like it's actually, if you live on a cul-de-sac, you need to get everybody together.
Right.
And
I do live on a cul-de-sac. I would probably say as a kid, I definitely would have been Art as younger, but as an adult, I'd probably be Tom Hanks' character at this point. I'd be a little skeptic, and then I'd be like, "Oh crap, yeah, this is for real."
It's great. That's a great pick, man. Two great picks. Totally opposite of each other in terms of the style. One's with Muppets and one's with Tom Hanks being goofy, and nosy ass neighbors are serial killers. But very, very good picks from both of you. When we did this, Tony's like, they could do any movie, right? I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's what they watch during Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving time. So he's like, yeah. He's like, Philly's got a movie that's not Thanksgiving, but it's great. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like, what introduction can we bring with Philly to the table? And I go, The Burbs,
It is an excellent movie, and I think there is a dividing line out there. Like, you can ask somebody, "Oh, did you like The Burbs?" And if they're like, "Yeah, I didn't really like it," like, it tells you a lot about that person.
Yeah, like looking in the mirror and watching it.
That was great.
It's like, yeah, I don't think I need to have that kind of negativity in my life anymore.
No, I'm gonna keep walking.
That's awesome. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to let you go and move on to our next guest. But Cotton, do you got anything to plug?
Baseball rabbit hole. I actually got done finishing I just wrote the first inning of the third game. It's only taken me like 2 years. So the second inning should be no problem, right? But no, I've been working on that a lot more. I'm releasing some of the older ones on a new platform, the Bleacher Bunch, and that's a Cubs-centric sort of thing, but the baseball rabbit hole is not Cubs-centric, other than the fact that the Cubs have been around. It's the Cubs and it's the Braves. They're the longest-running two teams, so they kind of show up in a lot of the stories just because they've been around that long. But yeah, that's just a baseball story. And I've got a lot of good things about, if you go through the old episodes, things about Bill Veeck, which is huge White Sox thing. So check that out. Check out the Bleacher Bunch. That's what we've got a number of different little podcasts on there right now that we're trying to work through. And yeah, and that's it. Oh, and I'm on Blue Sky as the Cubes fan.
Cool.
I'm not on any of the other ones. I don't do that like other stuff. And now, after me being on there for like a year and a half by myself, everybody seems to be going there. And I'm like, okay, look me up. I'm Cubes fan over there. So
be sure to check out Cotton. Your show is awesome though, Cotton, the Baseball Rabbit Hole. I listened to the first episodes you did. Really, really informative. I love your DH episode. That's personally, no, that's just a rant. But you did the breakdown of stuff. I was thinking about something else, but I do have listened to the episodes you did. It was something about DH. I got you. I think it was probably on the Ranto show.
Well, I mean, I've only screamed about the DH 8 million damn times. But yeah, I did. I think it was the longest episode of season 1 was the DH.
Yes. Okay.
And I just went through the history of it and how my mind changed from hating the DH to loving it when it was only in the AL, and the NL had a different set of rules. And I thought that was an amazing, interesting way for the two best teams to meet up at the end of the year.
I agree.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. It goes by innings, which I always like for your show. But yeah, definitely check it out. I haven't listened to season 2, unfortunately, but I will listen to it soon. But thank you, my man, for coming on. Sean, do you have anything to plug, my man?
Not really. I don't really. Like I said, I don't have my own podcast or anything. I mean, same name on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Philly the 13th.
Until that sells it.
I do stream on Twitch every now and then. I'm not like a full-time streamer. Every now and then when I feel like it.
You looking for fun? Follow this gentleman during the Phillies during the playoff. You're on yourself for a roller coaster ride.
So I will say, I become split personality during baseball season.
Well, that's generally how it works.
The negative me comes out when
back
things
when I
aren't
was
going
a
well.
Cubs fan. That's how it was for me. I was split. I get it.
It's all talk, though. It's not real.
I know. Oh yeah, definitely.
No,
Sure,
but thank
we
you
believe
both gentlemen, for coming on. We really appreciate it. You guys
Appreciate
are
it,
welcome
man.
anytime. Cotton, I know you listen to, and Sean as well. We want to get you on a little bit more. So
Appreciate it.
be sure we'll cook up something to have you guys on another time. But thanks again for coming on.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Guys.
Thanks, guys. I cannot wait to listen to the end of this show sometime in the next few days.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
Man, Cotton and Sean. That's the first time me meeting Sean. I've interacted with him on Twitter. Nice guy.
Yeah. Sean has got, honestly, he has met lots and lots of movie stars at these Comic-Cons, lots of great stories. Just really cool since the first time I met him, man. Really on baseball too. Excellent baseball knowledge too.
Yeah, it was ninth inning. I know he did one on the DH. I knew I was listening to it. I was looking at it right now. He did the ninth inning. I like Cotton's whole thing is he hated DH and then he became to love it when it was in the other league, and now he hates it again, which makes me laugh. But yeah, two really good guys, two really, really good movies. As well as, we got some more interesting things about you and your
I'm ready to continue. I'm gonna have some more questions coming up here. I can feel it.
Yeah. But with that, let's get into our next two guests. One of them is a food guy, and the other one is a mailman. Let's get into with Mailman Jack from the Twitters or X or what the hell Elon decides to call it, and our guy Fitzmagic joining us for the first time.
Hello, what's going on with Jack?
Hey, what's up? Aaron, you made it?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Awesome.
How's everybody doing?
Good, gentlemen. Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Jack, who's a regular on our show with the special delivery segment. We're gonna have him do a special delivery segment. Then we decided to have everybody on, and Jack's like, "Oh, I don't know any Thanksgiving movies, so I'm gonna stick at my."
Well, to be fair, me and it almost caused an argument between me and Yump because I was so excited by your pick that he's like, I was going to ask if he wants to do a Thanksgiving movie, and I didn't really think he was going to ask you, and I was going to be like, don't ask him, I want to do The Hidden. And he asked you, and he's like, he doesn't want to do it. I'm like, okay, I don't have to say anything. Good.
Well, I just didn't want Jack to feel like, oh, I'm doing The Hidden.
Oh, Jack wasn't going to feel that way. He likes it.
I chill The Hidden during Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids are adults now. It's all good.
Awesome. So, gentlemen, before we get into your films, we're going to ask you this kind of the same questions. Start with Fitz, since you're the food guy. Turkey, are you a fan? And if so, which style of turkey?
I am a huge fan of all turkey. About 2015, I think I deep fried my first turkey, and that's been the turkey of choice ever since in our family, and it's delicious. Also did a smoked turkey 2 years ago. A little more labor intensive. It takes a little longer, but the deep fried turkey, you don't have to use the oven, so that leaves room for everything else. And it's just so much more delicious and juicy, and you got a little crispy skin and everything. Oh, it's definitely the go-to.
What about you, Mailman Jack?
The older I get, the more I don't like turkey. But I like turkey. Don't get me wrong. I like smoked turkey, but like Thanksgiving turkey, I need to go to Aaron's house because I've never had fried turkey.
You've never had fried turkey?
Well, I've only had it like, does Boar's Head sell like fried turkey lunch meat or something? I've had that, but I've never had like
fried turkey. Gosh. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I like it, but if I never had it again for the rest of my life, I don't think I'd miss it. I don't know. I like it. And my whole thing was I'd always threaten all my I want the leg because I like the dark meat and a lot more things than turkey, but that's another show.
Wow. Wow.
Whatever. It's all I could do without it.
I don't like turkey either, Jack. That's why my mother-in-law makes fun of us.
I love chicken.
Yeah. I have turkey once a year. Well, twice, because my mom makes a turkey and my mother-in-law makes a turkey. So I have turkey twice a year, and it's on the same day.
but I do love, like, if I make a smoked turkey breast to make sandwiches out of it. I love that. I mean, I guess I'm contradicting myself, but like Thanksgiving turkey, I just want a big bowl of stuffing and gravy. I'm good.
So here is a question for you guys. Where did you guys ever have an experience where you had a Thanksgiving dinner that was just bad? We'll start with Jack on this one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Several. You mean food wise or just company, or
It could be all together.
Like, what was that movie, Son of a Woman? I've had a dinner like that. That whole scenario.
You talked about a threesome,
like a fight
Jack?
breaks out at the table. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, now have you ever, like, when someone like has their first dinner and they really haven't cooked yet, and then you're like, oh wow, and it's just, the meal is just bad. But whatever, it's all good. But I have a huge family, and a lot of times I love seeing them, but I also love leaving. But it's all good. Yeah, I've had some bad dinners, bad Thanksgiving, big time. Stop for White Castle on the way home.
Oh my goodness! So you shit out all the food you just ate?
It's never a good scene at the golf course on my route the next day. On Black Friday, no. Especially after a bad dinner.
What about you, Fitz?
To tell you the truth, up until I was about my teenage years, I did not like Thanksgiving dinner. I didn't really like a lot of food up until
what?
I didn't like turkey.
Tony.
I didn't like vegetables. But the only thing on a Thanksgiving meal that I liked were like the mashed potatoes, and that was about it, and the rolls. But that changed, and I can actually remember the Thanksgiving that did change. It was 1987. We were in Cleveland, Ohio, at my uncle's house, and all of a sudden, food just tasted really good to me, and it's never gone away since then, really. But yeah, I was not a big dinner fan back in the day. I liked breakfast, and I would just fill up all day, and then I get the dinner time, and it was kind of formal in our house, and you had to clear your plate, and I wasn't hungry, so I just had some PTSD about dinner. But yeah, once I was a teenager and you start hitting those growth spurts and eating all the time, I've loved Thanksgiving ever since.
I think we need to do a whole show on Tony and Aaron's eating habits.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything that Aaron has posted that I wouldn't eat. So like, there is nothing that he had. Like, so I'll eat anything with.
Aaron, you need to go to a fruit market.
See, and then I won't go, and then it's like he ain't coming in.
Did I hear you say you never tried chocolate?
No, I've never eaten chocolate. No,
That
I mean, like, I put a piece in my mouth, like as a kid, maybe like once.
Hot chocolate?
No
Candy
sweet
bar?
tooth, man. No, I have a deep fried tooth.
Okay.
Like deep fried mushrooms, deep fried zucchini, deep fried anything. It's just no chocolate, no sweets.
That's crazy. Okay.
But like, I'll eat.
Tony loves rice cakes.
I'll beat anybody in here in chicken wings or taco eating contest any day of the week. But that's what I like.
Tacos?
I could beat you in tacos.
Mole?
Yeah, anything.
You skinny people.
All that with chocolate.
You skinny people all can eat. I'll eat us fat people. Like, you have fucking metabolism. Is ridiculous. But so speaking of tacos, like, when it comes to turkey, my mom, once in a while, if we have leftover turkey, she'll take the turkey and shred it. Then she'll add some seasoning to it, and she'll roll it into flautas. And we'll have that with like some leftover stuff or rice or something like that. Have you guys ever done anything like that with like your turkey doing like a different type of, like, not really strange, but something a little different that's not normal?
My mother-in-law did a turkey fricassee one year, and it was delicious. And so, yeah, it was out of this world. So,
wow. So my mom's big thing was, like, after some she'd make a white sauce, with like bechamel or whatever the hell you'd call it, but she'd just call it white sauce, and basically just chop up all the turkey and mix it in white sauce with peas and carrots and serve it over mashed potatoes, and it was friggin' awesome,
Nice.
But that was always her go-to when you knew the meat was getting kind of old. Hey, it's in the white sauce, you guys. This is it. Finish it,
Then you look over at my plate and you see a bunch of green peas in a corner. Like that would be me. But I'd eat everything else. I would have no problem. Just pick the peas out.
Corn?
So when I get like chicken Vesuvio, I gotta be like, hold the peas, please. I do not want the.
Chicken
really?
Vesuvio and no peas.
No peas, please.
So on a pot pie, you would take out the peas?
I've never eaten a pot pie.
Good Lord. Man.
Not even those little banquet ones? No.
I mean, you're talking to someone, vanilla ice cream, no other ice cream. Never had any other ice cream.
Not strawberry, really?
Just vanilla.
Bro, you never had you never had like a paleta?
No.
Oh wow.
All the chips and salsa you eat? And
Chips and salsa, man.
You've never had paletas?
No.
But
I'm sure what is that? What is that?
I am a good
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
A paleta?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I do know what it is, but
it's a Mexican ice cream bar.
No, I've never had that.
So that some of them they make them some with dairy, and they make some of them with water, like water.
Yeah.
No, you're talking to a guy who won't let the beans touch my plate when I go to like if the beans touch my taco shell, I'll like cut the taco shell
Your
off.
taco
Right
shell.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry.
Aaron, get your wife over here.
Well, she eats all of this. My family, my father, everybody. It wasn't like I was like a family of weirdos that eat.
Tony is AI generated. That's great. Wow, Tony, you kind of threw me through a loop with that. The last only vanilla ice cream.
I eat vanilla ice cream and glazed donuts. See?
All right. That's cool.
You never had a donut other than a glazed donut?
No, and to be frank with you, I used to like get in arguments in like grade school because I hated donuts until like the last 3-4 years. I don't know, man. No sweet tooth. So I've never had a cavity.
I've never had one in my adult teeth. I've never had a cavity in my adult teeth. Yeah. I'm a big chocolate guy.
You guys talk about pizza, tacos, chicken. I mean, I love all that stuff. So it's like, you don't talk about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Fitz. So
I had one last night, actually. I was up late.
I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich earlier this week.
See, in my head, I just look at the food you post. I go, this guy's eating everything amazing right now. And see, I would never think you would have that. See?
Has Tony ever tried water? Is what Dougie said.
This is a true story, and Dougie's really going to love this one. Since June 15th, I have had nothing else but water every single day.
June 15th?
Katie.
June 15th, I haven't had a beer. I haven't had alcohol. I haven't had apple juice. I haven't had anything but water since June 15th.
Wow.
So,
really?
See, my wife. He's the king of drinking water.
What kind of water? Flat water or sparkly water?
Just regular water.
Tap?
Just no bottle.
Oh,
purified
you're
water.
A wild man. All right.
So when people talk about no caffeine since June 15th.
Yeah, I can't do that. I drink coffee every day. I have to get my wife got me.
Well, the problem is I was highly addicted to Coca-Cola, so I had to really cut back. I was doing like 6-7 cans, and I'm like, I just had to stop.
I was there before. Yeah, I don't drink pop really much more.
And honestly, I've never felt better in the last 8 years of my life than right now.
Wow.
So
I quit caffeine for a month one year, and the first cup of coffee I had coming out of that, I was like, my eyes were wide open. It's like I could see through time. It was crazy.
Are you ready for this? I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Okay. Well, I was older when I had my first cup of coffee. So okay.
I like how it's just ignored him. He's like,
never eaten is longer than the stuff. The list.
You know, it's so funny. For years, I'm on Twitter and I'm like, if any of these guys heard any of this, it would just be like such a big deal.
This show's better.
Be such a big deal.
Let's just do the show about Tony's eating habits.
Oh my god, Tony,
you're not out right now.
What is Tony not eating? It's the best new freaking podcast on YouTube. Wow. Oh, dude.
Man. Tony, we just learned more and more about you as we go.
Dude.
Sorry
you
about that.
really held it.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm trying over here.
But gents, let's get into these films. Let's
Sure.
start with The Mailman's first one.
Holy crap. My mind is blown.
What I'm after is still out there. And I don't know where to start.
Jack's movie is The Hidden, directed by Jack Shoulder, who also directed Arachnid, Supernova, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and Alone in the Dark. The movie stars Kyle MacLachlan, Michael Nerari, Clarence Felder, and Claudia Christian. It had a box office of $9 million on a budget of $5 million. Now, Jack, I know that sound clip didn't do the film justice because it's fucking out there, but I couldn't find anything that it was mostly like video clips, so I didn't have time to clip it out today. I've been super busy at work. But tell us why you picked The Hidden, my man.
Well, you know, it's the perfect Thanksgiving around the table.
Well, you don't know who your family is.
You know, we're all a bunch of degenerates. I love this movie. It's like it introduced us to Kyle MacLachlan before Twin Peaks, and he's kind of the same character. Yeah, little. He's a quirky, you know, but he's I don't want to do any spoilers or anything, but he's an alien. but it's just that car chase at the beginning, and then the rockin' like crime spree of the alien when he goes inside people's bodies. I texted, was it both of you or just Tony, like saying that's how I imagine every Ferrari dealership.
Yeah.
Mine is what happens in this movie. That is the perfect depiction of what I think happens in every sales office at a Ferrari dealer. It's an awesome movie. I mean, you know, the bad guy goes in different bodies, and it's a great movie. I showed it at Thanksgiving dinner now that my kids are old enough and I wouldn't have to deal with nightmares, but it's all good. It's a great movie.
There's like,
and the music in it is good, Tony.
Mailman, when you suggested this movie, or Yumper told me you suggested this, it brought me back to when I was 9 years old, and my father, for some unknown reason, was like, "You got to watch this movie." I don't know if I should have been 9 years old watching this movie.
Right. I like your date.
But Mailman Jack, you remind me a lot of my father, because he would be very happy the way you've already described this movie as whole. It's pretty much like a rock and roll journey, man. I mean, the whole entire thing. The music is key. There's some songs by this band called The Truth on the soundtrack. There's this song called Weapon of Love. Yeah, that song is awesome. This music is really good. I really like the storyline, though. It's actually really, really cool when you think about it. An alien that is small in nature and a body controlling, other bodies. And I got a picture here of the cool alien right now on the screen at the end who like crawls out or whatnot. But again, your family, you never know who is hidden. So, I mean, this is technically could be a Thanksgiving treat.
It's a really good, I don't know. It's really, and it has a sense of humor about itself too, which is always a plus in my book.
It does.
I've never heard of this movie.
That's why I thought it was great for you to join us. This is perfect.
Hey, you guys, I brought gifts because I'm a good guest. I always bring the host a gift. I brought you guys a record of the best soundtrack ever. And the second best soundtrack ever. You guys could fight over them. White Knights.
Yeah.
So which one do you guys want? Who wants which one? Tony, you want
Yumper, you get to pick first.
Yumper's like, what?
Never come to a party empty-handed. That's the way I was raised.
Melts my heart.
Tony will probably say I've never listened to.
Are you frozen? Can you speak
while eating an ice cream cone? But whatever. Yeah, I love The Hidden. I love it. It's an awesome movie, and if you like Kyle MacLachlan and Twin Peaks,
and who doesn't?
This is a great prequel to his future as being a stereotype for the rest of his career. You know.
Jumper there? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted for a second because I was coughing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll take the White Knights, Jack. I'm sorry if you didn't hear that.
You want White Knights? All right.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
You're too sweet. You're too nice for all that. But yeah, this movie fits. It had the alien transfer is done in stop motion, and I'm a huge fan of practical effects.
Yeah.
So I love it. Like brought me back to like the old school horror
Clash
films
of the
of like
Titans.
the Clash of Titans, or even this old film that with Vincent Price called The Tingler. If you ever seen The Tingler,
I've heard of that. Yeah.
it's a really bad horror movie, but it reminds you of, like, stop motion there, or Eraserhead has stop motion in it.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of it. This film is totally out there. Jack, you knocked this one out of the ballpark picking another film that was like obscure, because before you had Near Dark, which is a cult classic, and this one should get recognized more as well, because they're both good films that don't get mentioned a lot.
They are. I mean, that was, and they're kind of a lot like, it's kind of like They Live, sort of, and it just falls
that one
into
I've seen.
That whole thing. I like those kind of movies.
No, real quick before we move on, I think it was 92. I always remember they came out with a straight to video sequel to this movie, The Hidden 2.
Yeah.
And I actually remember watching it again with my father with Backdraft. It was like we watched Backdraft and then we watched The Hidden 2.
I'm liking Tony's dad.
And honestly, stay away from The Hidden 2. It was very disappointing.
It's not as good as The Guyver 2?
Not as good as The Guyver 2.
Hey. The Hidden 2 found. Sam. But that's a great pick, Jack. Let's move on to a film that you probably heard of, Jack. That is Fitzmagic's pick.
Oh my God, it's Bartles or James. Dude, which one are you? I need a pen. Dude, sign my jacket, bro. You have no clue on how huge you are with the college circuit. We love your wine coolers. Maybe I can whittle wood with you sometime, cool buddy? Sticky.
1993's Son-in-Law, directed by Steve Rash, who directed Can't Buy Me Love, Good Advice, Eddie, and Vanishing America. The film stars Pauly Shore, friend of the show, Carla Gugino, Lane Smith, Sidney Pickett, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and Dan Gothard. The movie had a box office of $36 million and a budget of $8 million. Fitz, tell me about Son-in-Law.
So this actually goes back to a Thanksgiving. It was 2002. We were living in Bolingbrook at the time. My girls were like 2 and 4, or maybe at the time. They were really young. And no, not even that. But we had thought we had just sold our place and we were moving, and the deal went through. It was Thanksgiving weekend. So we unpacked everything into our house, thought it might be just a couple weeks before we get everything turned around. So we didn't turn the cable back on. We didn't do any of that stuff. So we were just living off a VCR and a few of the movies that we kind of dug out from all the packing. And one of them happened to be Son-in-Law, along with Snow White, Cinderella, and The Three Amigos. And we watched those 4 movies for like the next 3 months, just on a loop. And my 2.5-year-old daughter was like repeating lines from Son-in-Law. And it's just kind of one of those movies that as a family, we just, we have inside jokes with, because of just how often they watched it during that time. And just, it's just it's one of those really bad movies that's really good. I think is the best way. It's like, it's a horrible movie, but it's just something I can't take my eyes off of when I see it on TV, and it just kind of brings back some good memories too, and that's why I picked it. And Lane Smith is a god in my
Oh, I love Lane
in my
Sparks.
vocabulary. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a movie that me and my wife love. We always quote the quote when he gets on the floor and he's like, "Middle America, Middle America."
Yes.
That's like for that reason that scene just cracks me up.
Or Steven Tyler PJ.
Yeah, Steven Tyler PJs. Yeah, it's just it's one of those films that we both love. It's prime Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
You know, this is when he had his good run of when he had Encino Man, and then this film came out, and then unfortunately he went in the army now.
Right.
But this is like when he was like it's just little like great one-liners when he asked like do you have a screwdriver? I'm sorry, I'm all out of vodka.
Right. And there was a little cameo by Brendan Fraser in there. And
he actually does
when they were in college, in the college scene.
When
the party,
just as Link. He actually does in the army now. He does another cameo as a guy named Link.
Yeah.
So I mean, the funny thing is, people are saying that now. Like, since Brendan Fraser won an Oscar, he should bring Pauly Shore back to bring his career back up.
No, I think his career is where it should be, back in the 90s, and just leave it at that. I think I'd be afraid to see what he did now, but no, it's just a bunch of good one-liners in there. It's got some good music too. It's got John Denver. Thank God I'm a country boy. So
does.
It's just one of those sit back and just don't even think about it, throw it on and have a good time and have a few drinks, some popcorn, and some vanilla ice cream and water, and you're good to go.
And water.
They fired that guy right at the Thanksgiving table.
Yes, Theo. They got rid of
Theo. Well, I mean, he did drug them.
Get out.
My favorite part too is when he's like, when he's trying to ignore what they're saying. He's like, "Honey, how about passing the mashed potatoes there?"
Yeah, right. He's like, no, just hold on with those potatoes for a second.
So, Jack, what do you think about Son-in-Law, Jack?
You know what? I love that movie too. My wife's from a very small town, and it kind of reminded me of when the first time I went out there, to meet my future in-laws and stuff, and I was like, not that I was like Pauly Shore, but like a fish out of water, when you go meet a family that grew up in a rural area, and I've only lived in Chicago my whole life. And my wife's uncle almost wet his pants when they were walking me around in a cornfield one time, and I asked, "So how many ears of corn do you get on one stalk?" Like a dozen? And because I had no idea. And he's like, "Can you believe this? MF don't know how many ears of corn? Oh, 2, 3 if you're lucky. It would fall over." And I'm like, I had no idea. I don't know. One stalk of corn, you're only getting 2 ears. That seems kind of, someone should have improved that.
Jack's you're gonna do the 9 to 5er, right?
But it was the funniest thing. I mean, he was like keeled over and couldn't like catch his breath when I asked this. Like, it was just like, "You really have no idea, do you?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. That's why I asked."
Wasn't Mason Adams the grandfather? Wasn't he the voice for the Cadbury egg commercials?
I think so.
Yeah, he actually was the voice for the wine coolers that he's talking about.
What, he was on?
He did the voiceover for it.
Okay.
Which is why it was funny.
Pauly Shore picked up a whole log to whittle with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, can we whittle together? That's I love that movie. That's a great picture.
Puffy cheeks, chill.
This is the only film that's ever gotten higher than 2 stars. A rating of 2 stars from Roger Ebert of Pauly Shore's movies.
This was the highest rated movie of
it had 2 stars. Yeah. So I mean, it was a classic, instant classic right there.
Yes.
But awesome pick, man. Awesome pick.
Great pick.
Awesome.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. Fitz, we want to have something on with you, or maybe we can talk some food from movies one of these days. Maybe have a segment in the future. we'll be reaching out to you soon for that. And Jack, of course, you know, a special delivery segment is one of our favorites.
Melted my heart. You melted my heart full of water tonight, Jack. Thank you.
I'll be making some more videos. Start the January 2025 after I get this school thing done with. So
awesome.
Oh yeah,
excited
school.
to see that. Excited.
Aaron, you hang around way too much in my neighborhood now.
I know.
Aaron, plug your TikTok and your channel.
Yeah, I'm at let's see, Twitter, Instagram, X, TikTok. I'm at Cheap Seats 411 on YouTube. It's Fitzmagic Shy, and I'm on Blue Sky with, I guess, doing like what all the cool kids are doing now. That's at Fitzmagic Shy as well. So that's where you can find me. All of the food is on my YouTube channel. That's strictly food. So Fitzmagic Shy, you can see all the places I've been to, and hopefully we'll get to a lot more next year. I think I got 45 videos on there now. That's okay. So
don't watch on an empty stomach because you'll be fucking starving.
Yeah. And Tony, anytime you want to go get something.
Oh, I would love it, man. Dream come true. Be cool.
But no, thank you so much for having me on. This
Mailman, you got to come too, just so you can see I
Yeah.
can eat a lot of food here, man. You got to
Oh,
see.
hell yeah.
I can eat food, man. I can eat food.
I'll get
Except
some of
if
my
it's-
mom's chocolate chip.
I
Wait,
promise,
wait,
Mailman, I can eat. I'll eat a Vito and Nix with you guys, please.
Have you ever had a piece of like blueberry pie?
I've had a piece of sausage, green pepper, mushroom, onion, and
Pizza pie.
that kind of pizza pie.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
I had whipped cream. I'd eat the whipped cream off the top of the pie because it's like
I
vanilla.
bet you would. All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Jack, plug where you're at, man, on the Twitters.
I'm on Twitter and that Blue Sky, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Blue
Yeah,
Sky
not
is
me.
weird. I mean, it's kind of cool. Everyone's nice on there, but like it's not the same. Everyone's trying to be too damn nice.
Same but different.
But it's nice to be nice to the nice. But
Just wait till the White Sox season starts. So.
I hope so. Hey, the
Oh, God.
Sox cut ties with Gavin Sheets today.
That
Where's
wasn't surprising. He was bad.
Yeah.
I
For a
know. I enjoyed the disappointment every time he like grounded out to second base.
I'm not mad.
That's about it for me. And if you see me delivering mail around the West Beverly area or someone that looks like me, it's probably me.
And if he has to use the bathroom, let him shit in your bathroom.
No,
We're a pro let Jack poop
Yeah,
podcast.
let him.
I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks guys for coming on. We would definitely have you guys on again in the future. We really appreciate you guys coming on for this one.
Thank you
Thanks
very
a lot.
much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right. Take it easy, gentlemen. All right, Fitzmagic and Mailman Jack, the gruesome twosome, two of my favorite people to follow on Twitter. Also, I love the interactions they have with food, Tone. They're always eating some good stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah,
Never
watch.
posted, I swear, neither one posted anything I would not try. Tamales, I'd have 15 tamales right now if you had them.
I saw that from Dougie saying that he wants to know where the best tamales are.
I actually, I want to know too.
So we go every Christmas, Dougie, to get tamales from El Milagro on 26th Street in Chicago. My dad used to work there for a long time ago. He knows the original owners of the store. So we go there and we get like 12 dozen of red and green. So get those if you're into them. They're really, really good. That's what we like, but I'm pretty sure there's other spots too if you don't want to go all the way into the city. But yeah, we'll have tamales this year for Christmas. Now I'm starting to get hungry. But let's close this out, Tone, with our last two guests. One of them has been really antsy to get on. He's been drinking a lot of bourbon. He's from the Chicago Sports Bums. He's the head bum in charge. How you doing, my guy? You're muted.
I am muted. Hey, I never done a show before. It's just me. I'm closing out solo.
No. We got another guy coming. We just want to say what's up to you. And we got another guy, friend of the program, has been on a couple times. He's the king ass of the all sports scene. King ass himself.
Save the best for last. As usual.
Sam, you're cracking me up with your little comments in the chat.
Great comments, Sam. Always great.
Hey.
So, gentlemen, since HBIC is your first time on our show, we'll start you off with a question. Now, we asked them if they like turkey. Are you a fan of turkey? And if so, which style of turkey do you like?
Nah, I'm not a big turkey guy. Like if we're talking Thanksgiving, I can have minimal turkey. I'm more of a sides and wine kind of guy on Thanksgiving.
I love it.
What about you, Sam?
I like turkey. Nothing wrong with it. It's it's there. Eat it. I think it's kind of stupid that you have to cook it for 8 hours to eat it for 20 minutes, but I mean,
You ever had a dry turkey like Cotton was complaining about?
I think only one time, and that was when like my mom hosted Thanksgiving and literally lit it on fire. So it's a little dry that year.
That'll happen.
So, HBIC, since you are the bourbon bum, what is a good Thanksgiving cocktail?
Ooh, Thanksgiving cocktail. So, honestly, like for when it comes to Thanksgiving, I do a lot of wine. I mix it up, but you can do like sangria is like you can do like a apple cider sangria, kind of like that, where you mix a little like vodka in there, some apple cider, some triple sec, some club soda, chop up the fruits and everything. Yeah, you can. I don't really get a lot of cocktails for Thanksgiving, but if I was going to, it would definitely be an old fashioned. I feel like old fashions, Manhattans, bourbon, straight, like those are like traditional like Thanksgiving cocktails.
Nice. Are you going to do a video for the channel for a Thanksgiving cocktail this year?
Probably not.
At least you're honest. Sam, we know you don't
you know what? Like we're trying to pump out a lot of content, but it's going to be a lot of beer centric this this winter. So a lot of stouts, a lot of Christmas beers, stuff like that. I may do a winter cocktail. I do have a few that I created by myself. But for now, it's going to be very beer centric. We lean into Dougie's playbook.
Nice. So Sam, we know you don't drink, so I wanted to ask you, what is a Thanksgiving dessert that you really like? Or is it something that Caitlin's, your wife, has made that's really, really good that is normally only made around Thanksgiving time?
I mean, pecan pie is always a great Thanksgiving dessert. Big fan.
Yeah, I love a good pecan pie.
Wait, you said you never had pie, though.
That's a joke. I'm serious. I sold that right there. You believe me.
Good old-fashioned callback right there.
What the hell is it saying? Your lies are bullshit.
I told it so well that you believed it. That's what was hilarious about it.
Yeah, we only tell truths on this damn show, Tony. This isn't Fox News.
Leave the lying to me.
No. Last question. Craziest Thanksgiving experience, good or bad? We'll start with you, Sam.
Yeah, it's probably the same year my mom lit that turkey on fire. We had a very small kitchen, and we had like 20 people in our house, and we had to makeshift setting up everything. It was crazy, and I had bronchitis at the same time. I got bronchitis like 6 years in a row on Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving. I don't know what it was from, but
should take more Flintstone vitamins.
But yeah, I don't know. It was like for a long stretch. So I was like sick as hell on the couch. My mom was literally, the turkey was on fire, and just all hell broke loose. And
did you guys spray it with a fire extinguisher?
Yeah.
Wait, you guys sprayed it and you still ate it?
Like, I don't even know how much they got of it, because it was more like the surrounding, because like the juice in the pan overflew, and then like the whole bottom of the thing lit on fire, and then like only part of the turkey got caught on fire, but they were like blowing out the whole bottom of it.
So it's like a Miss Doubtfire situation?
Yeah. It was nuts.
What about you, Jay?
So for the longest time, my Thanksgivings consisted of me going out till on Black Wednesday till like 4 or 5 in the morning, getting minimal sleep, waking up, drinking, and then passing out immediately after turkey. So like my Thanksgivings weren't as crazy as some, like there's no like politics or family shit that gets talked about. But I will say one of the most memorable stories I've had was there was some times where we would play Cards Against Humanity after Thanksgiving dinner. And if you played it before, there's some pretty risque blue collar answers that you could play. And watching my 70-year-old aunt win every round by playing just any perverted card you could possibly imagine was probably scarring, to say the least, for me. So
That's pretty funny. It's always the older people that are secretly the perverts. So that's gonna be you in a few years, man.
Well, I mean,
I'm already there. I got one foot in the ground already. So
Baloney's comment there that Cards Against Humanity, if families are precipice disaster, we have a game called Relative Insanity. It's like if Jeff Foxworthy wrote Cards Against Humanity.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness! So do you guys play with cards or?
Yeah, it's a card game. Like Cards Against Humanity is just called Relative Insanity.
Oh, is it a real card game or is it one that the oh, okay? I'll say something that the Reaves is happening.
No.
All right, gentlemen. I'll stop boring you with my questions. Let's get into the film. Let's go with Jason's first with this one.
Anyway, why should I give thanks on Thanksgiving? What have I got to be thankful for? All it does is make more work for us at school.
Jason, that's totally your quote of saying all Thanksgiving has to do is give more work for school.
Yeah. No, so when you ask me like what movies do I watch on Thanksgiving, and I'm like, I don't watch movies. I watch football for 10 hours and I drink wine. Like that's my Thanksgiving. And I'm like, you're like, well, you don't watch anything? I'm like, well, the only thing I really watch would be like the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special, which, typically does not air on Thanksgiving. It just airs the weekend before, whatever. It used to be on CBS, and then all of a sudden, it got moved to Apple.
Who's that asshole?
So
yeah, who's that guy?
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck that
Some
guy
asshole
was,
walked behind you.
But yeah, I feel like all the Charlie Brown stuff, the Halloween, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, those are must watches. And the Thanksgiving is obviously one of my favorites. But yeah, it always makes me smile when I watch it. It's a must watch for me.
Nice. So the film was directed by Bill Melendez and Phil Roman, who did a lot of Charlie Brown and Garfield films. It starred Todd Barbary, Robin Cohn, Stephen Shea, and Hillary Hamburger Powers. Definitely a film that it's only 30 minutes long. So I'm a huge fan of Charlie Brown. I always hate the fact that Charlie Brown got treated like shit compared to the other kids. It always kind of upset me. But Peanuts is something that I grew up with. I know a lot of people have grown up with. I never read the strip really until I was older. I went back and looked at them. But I mean, Charlie Brown's been like a mainstay, and I'm guessing in everybody's household at one time.
Music is amazing in this too. The music is, you just have the music playing in the background when you drink.
Yeah, like
on any
Vince
Saturday
Guaraldi,
night.
Guaraldi, whatever, how you say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. The piano stuff is awesome. The one thing about Charlie Brown, you said he gets shit on a lot, whatever. Yeah, and very true. But the big thing about the Thanksgiving is that Peppermint Patty just insists upon herself that she's going to invite herself to a Thanksgiving feast that she was never invited to. And hey, Chuck, what are you doing, Chuck? And him being a little beta bitch, he doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't know how to be assertive and stand up to himself. So he lets Peppermint Patty steamroll over him. And it's like, come on, my dude, you gotta tell her, like, no, go to my grandma's house. You're not invited. You're not family. But like, he don't know how, and it kind of upsets me. But Marcy's trying to be the voice of reason on this, and eventually she gets through. But the damage is already done. Like. He already agreed, and now he's got to feel like he has to go above and beyond to appease the women. You know, I feel like that's what we do a lot of our lives. We go above and beyond to appease the women in our lives, even if we don't want to. So, Charlie Brown, get your shit together.
Wow.
I like that. That was a good rant.
Sam, what do you think about Charlie Brown's Christmas? Thanksgiving.
I don't know if I'd go as far to call him a beta, but I mean, betas. I've only seen this maybe like 3 times in my life. They were all when I was younger, and I can't even tell you I remember anything about it. Does Charlie Brown try to kick the turkey like a football? Did they do that at all?
No, but it isn't in the beginning of the movie.
He kicks the football though. He
Yeah.
tries to kick the football, and once again he misses.
Yeah, because of
He is a
Lucy.
beta.
Because he's a beta. Because Lucy pulls it away, and he's one of my favorite. I'm not really a big fan of Family Guy, but one of my favorite skits is when Peter's into Roadhouse, and he goes and starts kicking the shit out of her after she pulls it away, and he goes and kicks the ball. And he's like, "Yay!"
Roadhouse.
Yeah,
You gotta do the zoom up and then be like Roadhouse.
That whole scene cracks me up, but I always got upset with Charlie Brown being like the Halloween one always upset me because he got a fucking rock everywhere he went.
Yeah, you know what you do? You take that rock and you chuck it at the door.
There wouldn't be a
Break the
cartoon
window.
if that wasn't the purpose of the cartoon.
But why is he the one shit on time? Like, why don't you?
Who do you want? Who do you want? Would you rather have Snoopy? Shit
Linus,
on you?
Linus carries a fucking blanket around. Shit on that kid.
Well, I think that's the point. Is that
I think that kid's got a lot of problems going on already.
Like Charlie Brown needs to stand up for himself. If you get a rock multiple times, just chuck that shit through the window, back at the door, establish dominance, be an alpha. Don't be a little beta bitch who got a rock. I want you to fight. I want you to push back, Charlie. I want you to be the man that you know you are. I'm trying to be your hype man, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Let's fucking go. Like,
Gotta be careful.
Tell Pepper and Patty kick rocks. In fact, give her when she says, I want fucking Thanksgiving dinner, give her one of the rocks you just got from Halloween 3 weeks ago. Be like, here, bitch, here's your fucking dinner. Here's a rock on a plate.
Eat a rock.
Yeah, eat this fucking rock. All right. Instead, you got Snoopy making dinner for everyone, buttering bread and doing all that stuff, and then everyone complains that the dog only gave him bread and butter. Stand up for your friends.
Tony, have you ever had popcorn? That's a question that we're getting asked here.
Oh yeah, I love popcorn. Kettle corn too. I love kettle corn too.
That's another thing too. Yeah, a lot of the kids in this show are fucking stuck up too. Maybe that's why I didn't like it so much. I love Charlie Brown though. Charlie Brown's my favorite character. As you know, a lot of the kids in there are stuck up.
Oh,
HBIC is basically Charlie Brown's Andrew Tate. Wow. Baloney. Wow.
Oh man.
Just pumping him up, man. Pumping him up. Gotta get my boy ready for the mainstream, man.
There's Snoopy handing out that bread that nobody liked.
Tony, they complained about it. And then, Franklin had to be the voice of reason there and be like, well, maybe because you invited yourself, last minute, maybe because no one cooked. Like, this is why you get bread and butter. Like, shout out Franklin, MVB, for being the only voice of reason among the dozen of them.
I love it.
Tom,
what do you think about this one?
Great pick. I mean, honestly, I love the Halloween one the most, but this is probably I like this one more than the Christmas one. So I mean, I like them all. They're awesome.
HBIC, I just wanted to hear you talk about Charlie Brown. That's why I kept pushing for the Charlie Brown because I wanted to hear, and you delivered. I have to say, you delivered with your rant.
Put a few bourbons in me, and I'm trying to pump up my boy. I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get him ready, man. Like these women keep taking advantage of him. And I can't let him have that. Can't let him have that.
Mailman Jack says Marcy is a freak, and you know it.
Oh, you're probably right. Marcy probably is a closet freak. She probably does like the like, hey, stick it in my butt. Like she probably does.
Jesus.
We don't have a after show after dark, but we might have to when HBIC comes on.
Just what you said.
What you save me for last? You got
this content is not suitable for children.
You got to hit the explicit content button on this one.
Hold on a second. You would put bums and ass at the last segment, and you're not gonna get booty talk. I'm not gonna get butt stuff. Like, come on,
Oh, dude, that's why I did
bums
it.
and ass together. You're gonna get butt talk. Okay, so yeah, Marcy, remember she is a classic freak. She's probably like, yeah, put it in there. Give me the shocker, man. She might like that shit.
The Peanuts teacher knows a thing or two about
moaning.
Womp 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 womp. That's great. You guys are crazy. Sam, let's just transition into your film after that comment by Maloney.
Let's do it
with this one, because we're talking about bums and ass. Oh, wrong one. That was that. Oh yeah.
Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
1987's Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, where he sticks his hand in his ass. Directed by John Hughes, who did The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Uncle Buck, Weird Science, and 16 Candles. The film stars Steve Martin, John Candy, and Layla Robbins, and it had a budget of $15 million with a box office of $49 million. Sam, tell me why you picked this one, my man.
Well, it's John Hughes, it's John Candy, it's Steve Martin, and the guy's trying to get home for Thanksgiving. What's not to watch on Thanksgiving about this film? I mean, it's the cameos in it are fantastic. You got Kevin Bacon at the very beginning of this movie, randomly. You got Michael McKean as the cop, Dylan Baker, Edie McClurg, Ben Stein, Larry Rankin, Martin Ferrero as the second motel manager, randomly in there. So, I mean, the guy's just trying to get home for Thanksgiving, and he has to deal with Del Griffith the entire time. And if you have ever dealt with a Del Griffith, you would definitely be on the team Neil Page there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to go home, man.
Your stories aren't even accidentally interesting.
Oh, Del's got great anecdotes, guys.
Here's another one.
HBIC, have you seen this
That whole
film?
rant is amazing.
Wait, say again. Sorry.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I think I saw it once in like junior year of high school during like our teacher showed it for like fucking just a, hey, you're gonna watch a movie in class.
The good old days.
Yeah. It was like a back-to-back, like we're gonna watch it, and like it's probably been 25 years since I've seen that movie, so I don't remember much of it, but I should probably go revisit it.
It's a good film because not only is it funny, like it's got a lot of good funny parts. I mean, he has two of the best comedians of all time, you know, in terms of stand-up and also in films. You got John Candy, who died way too soon. You got Steve Martin. But this film, I think, like just shows how good of a fucking actor John Candy is, because in the end of the film, you really feel bad for him when you find out what he was doing and why
Charlie
he is.
Brown. You thought about feeling bad for Charlie Brown.
Yeah, it's one of those films, like it just shows how great of an actor he was. And they both said that this was their favorite film to do. Mm-hmm. And Steve Martin even came out and said that like the character Del that John Candy plays is basically him. Like that's basically how he was in real life. He's had somebody that had something like a little, you know, broken heart that he never really expressed to anybody. But it's just crazy. But it's a hilarious film. You know, my favorite scene's not the pillows one. It's always when he goes and tries to get a hotel room and he has no money. He's like, "Oh, you want my watch? It's a Casio." It always cracks me up when he says that.
Those were good watches.
Yeah, but they were like fucking worth like $15 or something like that.
It's like I got $14 and a Casio.
It always cracks me up.
Radio Shack for the win.
But it's a classic, man, Sam.
Oh, you know, did you see that Bears game last week? Oh yeah, they got a good team this year, going all the way this year. Yep.
The whole entire, I mean, the whole musical interlude when Martin falls asleep and they're driving and he's singing and he's playing the sax, he's playing the keyboard, Ray Charles, and then all of a sudden the cigarette drops and he's the devil, and oh man, that part's great.
You're going the wrong way.
Yeah, we're on the highway.
How would he know where we're going?
Yeah, that scene is like, that's kind of like freaked me out a little bit. Like, holy shit, like just imagine doing that. Like I've known people who've actually gone on the highway the wrong way and they weren't intoxicated or anything. They're just fucking stupid.
Yep.
But like it's just ridiculous that can happen. And they're lucky. I know it was a film there that they survived that because that's some scary shit. But definitely a classic that when we talk about, Candy's filmography, Thanksgiving film, because everybody's coming back for Thanksgiving. This is my favorite John Candy film by far. I like Uncle Buck a lot too, but this is probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's a real classic pick.
Excellent pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a feel good film, but then like you said at the end, it really gets you, and it just closes very nicely. Him making it home, but he gets to bring Dell with him, and after going through what he had to go through with him on that thing, it's so good. I didn't even see this movie until about 3 years ago for the first time. Caitlin watched it all the time, like we're growing up, and I was like, what? I don't think I've ever seen it, and now we watch it pretty much 2 to 3 times around Thanksgiving every year. So yeah, that's how Houdini died.
Yeah,
I actually have that
some great scenes.
One of my prized possessions is I still have the cassette tape of the soundtrack for when it came out.
Nice.
So it's again, man, it's a classic. You got 2 classic actors who, again, I mean, time period, man, it's great. Probably the best. Top. I mean, honestly, it's probably the best Thanksgiving type of movie, I think.
And yeah, like Philly 13th put that rant in there. I want a fucking car.
Right fucking now.
Do you have your rental agreement? No, I threw it away. Oh no. What? Oh no. You're fucked.
I love Kevin Bacon in the beginning.
Oh yeah, just
trying
chasing for a taxi.
Chasing for a taxi.
Her first baby came out sideways. Didn't scream or nothing.
What's his name?
Owen.
Another good actor too.
Yeah,
he's
Dylan
in Trick or
Baker.
Treat. Yep.
Yeah.
Jay, this is like totally up your alley, bro. This film is a bunch of shit
Honestly,
you would like.
Yeah, I mean the rant he goes on in that hotel room is close to the rant you just went on at Charlie Brown. I mean, not quite as good, but it's close. It's close.
Look, I mean, we're talking about Marcy liking butt stuff, so I mean,
Caitlin's comment right there is spot on. I am Steve Martin, and her dad is John Candy. Whenever we go anywhere,
that's awesome.
I mean, do you think Marcy and Franklin? They're does she think she likes the BBC? I mean,
maybe
we can break that down. You think Franklin is slinging hog there, man?
Who was Marcy always? Who was she trying to date? Because I know
I think she got around. I think she was trying to go a little bit of everyone. I don't think she was like being aggressive. Like Peppermint Patty was like horny for Chuck, right? And then shit.
But his sister liked Linus.
Yeah. Yes, I'm trying to think. His sister, I can't remember her fucking name right now. Yeah, so she was horny for Linus. Like maybe Marcy's just low down freak, and she ain't trying to like put herself out there. But if maybe maybe her and Franklin are just bumping uglies, and he's chopping that coal sausage on her. Shit.
What do you think about this, Sam?
Oh, shut up, Franklin.
I don't remember any of that in this movie, but must have been director's cut.
Linus threw down. It's always the quiet ones. Yeah, and he probably had his blanket with him when he did it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Linus.
Under the blanket's a fucking pistol.
Yeah, that's why do you think he had a blanket? Like, oh, hey, you know what? I don't want to fuck in the grass. I'm going to throw my blanket down. I'm going to bang you here in this meadow. Like,
fucking hate Linus. He's like my least favorite character from Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
HBIC, we gotta get you on again to talk some more shit. I might have to get you a bourboned up again.
Yeah, I mean, even if we gotta do a straight porno episode, we'll do that. We'll pick 5 and 5 pornos. We'll go around the room.
We've done that one already. Don't worry.
Oh damn! I missed it.
That's the Triple X show with HBIC. No, but thanks both of you guys for coming on. I know you guys came on last, but we saved the best for last, as they say, and you guys are like hilarious. I just want to see the dynamics of. I just love the way Jason was going off about peanuts. having sex at Jay, and even Sam was like a little speechless.
Jesus was the line of the night. Jesus.
But really appreciate you guys both coming on. Sam, where can everybody find you, my man?
On the internet.
See you there.
That's where I live. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram. You can follow the All Sports Scene on YouTube. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky as well. We're all over the place. Every other Tuesday, we do our Talking Out Our Ass show, which is an interview podcast that we make up off the top of our heads. And every Thursday, we have Asscast for you. We will be off this Thursday for Thanksgiving. But yeah, check us out. Like, subscribe. We're always around to say some stupid shit about sports.
Nice. And what about you, Jay?
Obviously, you can follow me as you see right there, right there, at Headbum in Charge on the Twitters, at Shy Sports Bums, at Shy Sports Bums on YouTube, on Instagram. I'm not in the Blue Sky because I'm fucking 42 years old. I don't need any more fucking social media apps. Okay. Well, Shy Sports Bums is on Blue Sky, but I'm not on Blue Sky. I don't got time for fucking more apps. I'm old and cranky, and I don't need another fucking shit to follow.
Amen.
These damn kids and their apps.
Yeah, just fucking. You know what? Everyone jump in the Blue Sky. Just go down with the ship. Like, go down on the ship like this is MySpace.
Work our ass off.
Don't worry, I intend to.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter until they fucking blow us up. Until we get blown out. So
until they make me pay for it.
Yeah, but if you want to follow the main account, we'll be on. I guess we're on Blue Sky. I'm not though. Just follow my horniness on Twitter. For in-depth takes about peanuts, about which peanuts are fucking which other ones. So,
if you want to know what peanuts are fucking, follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll break it. I'll break it down distinctly. Just like I broke down cream pies on the 108 podcast. So.
Oh my god, that was one of the best and yet dirtiest shows they've done. That was quite hilarious, though.
That's true.
But thank you, gentlemen, for both coming on. Really appreciate you guys for coming on. We'll have you guys on again. Like I said, Jay, we gotta get you on again. Same thing with you, Sam. Thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate you guys coming on Friday night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a great night.
You too.
Cool, man. Two really, really awesome people in Sam. Oh, let me put Sam back on. It's Sam and Sam and HBIC. Two great guys. HBIC, I was hoping he'd do a rant, so he got liquored up enough to do one. It left Sam speechless, which was great.
That was amazing. That was really amazing.
Baloney says Charles Schultz was never ready for HBIC, and I totally agree with that. But Tone, let's close this out, my man, with your soundtrack pick of the week.
Let's do it.
Okay, once I can find your damn video here. Here we go. The Sugar Baggies soundtrack pick of the week.
All right, for tonight's soundtrack pick of the week, I am going with another Tom Hanks flick, one where he plays a musical manager. One being That Thing You Do, another classic from the 1996. It was released in September 24th, and honestly, the wonders are honestly, when this movie came out, I'm gonna be honest with you, I made fun of it. I was not into this movie. I was honestly not into it because this is my peak heavy metal years. But then the 2000s hit, and I was like, let's watch this movie again. And then I realized that, Adam Schlesinger is the songwriter of a lot of these songs, and he was part of Fountains of Wayne, which I was a huge fan of, and realized that he was a songwriter of these songs. Going back in the soundtrack, it's got a lot of good songs. It reminds me again of those bands from the late 60s that was really, really kind of the songs that would catch in your head. So like even That Thing You Do, that song's always stuck in my head, even when I didn't like it in the 90s. So very good soundtracks, 15 tracks. Okay. Only 42 minutes. So like, again, most of the tracks are short. Most of the tracks on the album are by the Wonders, but there is some other tracks by like the Saturn V, does a track called Voyage Around the Moon, which is pretty good. But just an all-around really good soundtrack, pop soundtrack from a movie that I didn't like at first, but was nominated for a Best Original Song in That Thing You Do. Did not win, but I was shocked too while doing research for this. Didn't realize it was nominated.
Yeah, it's another underrated film. One of my favorite songs on there is actually the titles goes right up HBIC's alley with Time to Blow. I actually like it because it has it's a piano like little riff to it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like jazz and whatnot too. So it's a nice
Del
little
Jackson, that's a great song.
yeah. So I really like that one. The film I didn't think the film was like great, but now that I'm older, I appreciate it more, I would say.
You know, when it was released back, every summer release was this huge big deal. And of course, you mentioned earlier, Tom Hanks was on his run, the stretch, where like at the movie theater, I remember huge cutouts for this movie, big posters. Like this was going to be the movie. And I think when it came out for me, I was like, what is this? But now you look back at it and you're almost like, okay, this was maybe a little before its time, because, I wasn't really into the Beatles, but now maybe a lot more people are into the Beatles and can see like a band like that, what it was like back then, which makes it a more interesting piece.
Yeah. It's definitely I guess it gives it more of a fictional piece aspect to it. And it does it is kind of ripped off the Beatles. I mean, it's a fictional band.
Yeah.
But it deserves some appreciation.
Sure.
I just like I guess at the first time I was listening to it, I just couldn't jive with it really well. Now I can appreciate it more for what it is. The soundtrack is really good. I'm not to be honest, I'm not a huge Beatles fan. I'm more of a Stones fan.
Sure.
But I do appreciate what the Beatles have done in terms of rock history and whatnot. So I can see what this film was going for. And it has an awesome cast in it too. Charlize Theron's in this film, Liv Tyler, Ethan Embry. So it's a really, really good film with a great soundtrack.
To end it on this note, it's really funny because, you hear all this food I talked about tonight, how I didn't like. But like if you took me to a chicken wing bar, a taco bar, and there were like 7 types of meats, I'd be like, I want it all. I need it all. I need to have one of each. Where like, that's how I am with the Stones and the Beatles. Like you couldn't, if there were 20 guys arguing against the Stones, I would be on the Stones side. If there were 20 guys arguing against the Beatles, I'd be on the Beatles side, just because to play the devil's advocate. That's kind of how some of this movie is a little bit, is that it's come a long way, and it needs to be like a devil's advocate for me to be like, a lot of good stuff in this movie from a long time ago.
Yeah. So definitely check this one out. Good pick, Tone.
Thank you.
Soundtrack is really, really good. Before we close out, I want to thank everyone who joined us today with our guests. Shout out to Cotton, Mailman Jack, Philly, HBIC and his rant, Sam, Fitzmagic. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I know it took a little while to get you guys in and out, but this is just something new we tried, to having all these people. Maybe we'll all have them all on once next time and see how the chaotic it gets. But we hope you enjoyed it. Something different for the Thanksgiving. We want to thank you guys for listening to us every week and week on. We are going to take next week off, as it is the day after Thanksgiving, and we'll probably be overstuffed with food. But we will be back with a deep dive that we haven't decided on yet. But we've got some ideas spitballing for the last one of November. I believe it'll be the last one of November, will it?
No, it will be the first one of December.
Okay, so it'll be the 1st of December we'll be going to. Yeah, it will be the 6th. We'll be back the 6th. So we will do a deep dive that day. I do have a video coming out on Stand Up Ollie. I have been so swamped at work this week, I haven't had a chance to edit it. I'm going to try and knock that out this weekend. So check out for that. Tone, I know you dropped a hookup on music. Let everybody know what that was about.
We got definitely a surprise today. Kendrick Lamar dropped a new album. Good so far from what I've been listening to it. Another band that honestly I think you may like, Yumper. They're called The Dip. Really cool new band.
The Dip or The Dick?
The Dip. The Dip. Yeah, I want you to check out this new band. They're called The Dick.
like what?
Dip. No, the dip, like cheese dip, like dip, DIP.
Okay.
But again, go through a lot of cool different things. Talk about Al Green. We talk about this awesome metalcore band called Kubla Khan. Just a lot of really cool in-depth stuff. Also taking next week off to revamp for December, because there is a lot of Christmas songs that we're going to try to get through, along with a lot of other awesome things. So keep tuning in.
Yes, sir. So thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to check out It's Getting Drafty in here. We'll be coming out with a new show, part 2, or the Thanksgiving draft. It's coming up, I believe, Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
This week. Also, be sure to check out the Sadistic Penguin Studios for our blog. And if you can, and you like our stuff, subscribe us to the YouTube channel. I don't usually ask us for it, but we are close to 700 subscribers, and we're going to get there. We are also on Blue Sky at Statistic Penguin, Blue Sky at bsky.social, or on Blue Sky. So check us out there. We'll probably get it at the show pod, Blue Sky there as well. I'm there as well as Lil Yumper. And Tony, what's your Blue Sky handle?
Tony Chalza is there. I am there, and going to start this weekend to make my name again. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, sir. But with that, everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the At the Show podcast, a Sadistic Penguin Studios production.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?